Let me see at least the scratch score sheets a while. Who's first and second? Or in third? Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour live on YouTube. Today we are coming at you from Leisure Lanes, right outside of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, major number 2. We are down to our finalists. We're not going to be doing player introductions, I don't think. With Josh running the show, we don't usually do them. The top 6 today made the finals. In the scratch division, your leader at plus 149 is Troy Owens. Second place at plus 92, Antonio Reyes. Third at plus 69, Zach Preston. Fourth at plus 59, Ryan Miscavige. Fifth at plus 40 is Daniel Althouse, looking to defend his title here from last year. And sixth at plus 37, Chloe Skrzinski. Those are your top 6. I'm waiting for the handicap cards as we speak. I can tell you that the first seed is Eric Barnes at plus 132, Callie Bazdil plus 98 is second, Jadalyn Swisher third at plus 62. All right, how we're doing the finals today with the top 6 seeds making it. We will have a shootout in the first match between seeds 4, 5, and 6. The winner of that will go into a shootout with seeds 2 and 3, and the winner of that will bowl the top seed for the championship. Josh gave me the rest of the cards. In fourth place at plus 34, CJ Lobach. Third, plus 31, Sydney Bone. And rounding out your top 6 at plus 23, Ayanna Bailey. So those are your top 6. The pattern today is PJBT pattern number 3. Earlier this week, tournament director Matt posted a bunch of patterns on the PJBT website. You could check them out. It's just basically the lane graphs and the footage. They are going to be the patterns for the rest of the majors this year to be used in a random order. And today, if you look at the bank of patterns, it was number 3. All right, so we are off and running. We are on the gold pins that we use for all of our major finals. Ryan starts out tripping the 2-pin. CJ on the handicap side leaves a 310. Chloe crosses over, leaves a 6-pin. Daniel goes 10 back. Ayana started off by putting one in the ditch. And she gets 8. Sydney crosses over, leaves a 5-pin. Let's see here. For handicaps, Ayana is getting 81, CJ is getting 95, and Sydney is getting 38. Ah, there you are. They weren't switching. Matt's back there. All right, so we've got a little delay. The arrows did not flip. So we're taking care of that. We are pretty close. We're sitting right behind the settee area, so if I feel like making fun of some of the bowlers, they're going to be easily to hear what I'm about to say. Right, Chloe? They can take the stuff as much as they want. I'm not going. Screw that. All right, so we're still under the delay where they brought the scoring down. We're going to put it back up. In the meantime, have you gotten your entries in yet for the Danny Wiseman tournament? Entry spots are filling up fast. From what I hear, we're about 2/3 to 70% of the way filled up. That tournament is in 3 weeks. Our next tournament next week is at Earl Lanes in Quakertown for a youth doubles tournament. If you want the discount, you got to get your entry in by midnight tonight. Put down a $20 deposit. You will get a discount for next week. All right, looks like we're back up. All right, so Chloe came back with a strike. Ryan crosses over, leaves a 5-pin. Ayana goes high, leaves a 4-6, 9-10. CJ went gutter 6. Ayana gets her 1. Ryan converts his spare. Sydney crosses over, leaves the 10-pin. Daniel leaves the 2-pin. As always, our message board is live and operational if you want to chime in. Daniel covers his 2-pin. Ryan covers his spare. CJ got 3 out on his first shot on 31, and he does not get any on his spare. Ayana leaves the 6-pin. Let's see what Chloe could do. She's up in the 3rd. She's working on a strike. She comes in high, leaves the 3-6-10. Good shot there by Sydney. She gets her first strike of the game. Chloe misses all 3. Daniel makes his spare. CJ on the handicap side gets a strike. Ryan leaves a 2-pin. He had a few more pins up there, dropped them off. Sydney left a 4-pin. Ayana, unfortunately, threw her second gutter of the game. And she gets 8 on her spare shot. Sydney makes her spare. Ryan makes his spare. CJ leaves the 1, 2, 4, 8. Daniel now up in the 4th. He's working on 3 marks. He crosses over and carries. Chloe makes her spare, and CJ does not. Joining me right now in the booth, tournament director Matt, who was running our first adult event of the day. How is that going up there?
It is going well. We have in our semifinal match of the stepladder, so that event will probably be ending a little earlier than this event. But we had a great turnout today. 77 bowlers for the PJBT second major of the year. And then we had 33 adults down there for the Buddies Pro Shop Adult Bowlers Tour tournament. So there's a crossover strike for Sydney Bone. Just thought I'd join you in the booth for a couple minutes on this pattern number 3 today. Specialty pattern. Chloe Skrzyncki comes up a little bit light, leaving the 2-5. And Ryan Miscavige misses his spare there, the 3-6.
Looked like he might have stuck.
84 in the 5th, as you can see on your scoreboard there. And CJ almost makes his spare, but he has 48 in the 6th. Spare for Chloe. Winner of this first shootout will advance to the second shootout, take on our number 2 and 3 seeds. And the winner of that second match will advance to the title match. Daniel comes up a little bit high, leaving the 3-10. I think he got that ball inside a target. And we're all decided we're going to clean the gutters. As Ayana Bailey had a gutter ball, and Sydney did the same thing. Let it wide. And now we'll have to try to get a strike that turns into a spare. Ayana's first up, and she gets 9. I'm sorry, 8 rather. But Sydney cleans it up. So the good news for Sydney, she was on a strike, so no harm, no foul. It's just like a regular spare. In the meantime, Daniel got one of his 3-10 baby split. So we have a real close match on the scratch side. CJ leaves a 10-pin. Chloe Skrzyncki comes up high, leaving the 3-6 on the scratch side. On the handicap side, it's CJ missed his spare, but gave it a good effort. Ayana Bailey left the 7-pin. Bowling fans out there, make sure you tell your friends to tune in here on our YouTube channel as the end of our second major of the season. Strike there for Daniel Allhouse. Looks like he has a 1-pin lead over Ryan Miscavige in the match. Chloe missed her spare, so she is a little behind. There's a spare for Ayana Bailey. Now Sydney Bone crosses over, leaving the 3-9. She'll look to convert the spare. Mickiewicz on the scratch side puts up a double. Oh, a crossover strike for Chloe Skrzyncki. Trying to stay in the match. Oh, and Sydney dropped that one at the bottom of the swing and missed to the right. So she misses her spare. She puts up 114 in the 7th, 152 with her handicap. And through 7 frames, we have a tie for the lead in handicap. All right, PA, I'll be right back. I got to go finish up the semifinal match of the Buddies Pro Shop tournament.
All right. Let's see what Ryan could do. He could take control of this match with a strike here. That will be his 3rd in a row, and he liked it. Came in high, but he caught a break, tripped out the split. Daniel, meanwhile, crossed it over. Shooting at the 6 pin. CJ is shooting at his spare. Daniel makes it. CJ does not. Sydney mixes it and strikes. Ayana working on trying to pick up her spare. She is on a spare. And Chloe gets a double. That puts her right back in the match. Daniel with the strike. Keeps him within 8 of Ryan, who is up foundation frame 9th. He comes in high, leaves a 3-6. CJ trying to pick up his spare. He gets 5, so he has, with his handicap after 9, 168. Ayana is in the 150s. Ryan makes his spare on the scratch side. Sydney is already in the 150s, and she's only through 8, so she's going to have the lead after 9. Chloe crosses over, does not get the strike. All right, big shot here for Daniel. He could take the lead if he were to double here in the 9th. And he comes in a little high, leaves himself the 10 pin. So both he and Chloe will be shooting 10 pins. Chloe does not make hers. Sydney, meantime, on the handicap side through her 2nd gutter of the match. But, oh, she only gets 8 that time. Daniel missed his too. So, Daniel and Chloe will be working on 10 pins this week. All right, and Ryan strikes. That's going to pretty much seal that match up. Ryan crosses over. So does Chloe. Ayana, she will be 189, I believe. That means Sydney is going to have to mark, and she strikes, so she will be moving on. CJ with his handicap shot, 177. All right, and we are done with game one. On the handicap side, Sydney Bone, 159 scratch, 197 with her handicap. Ayana Bailey, 108 scratch, 189 with her handicap, and CJ Lobach, 82 scratch, 177 with his handicap. On the scratch side, Ryan Miscavige, 200, Chloe Skrzyncki, 176, Daniel Althouse, 171. So that will do it for game numero uno. Daniel Althouse, $50. He's on his way. He was putting his stuff away down by lane somewhere. Chloe Skrzyncki, fifth place, $50. CJ Lobach, sixth place, handicap division. Iona Bailey.
All right, handicap over here, scratch over here. Two balls on each lane. Let me give me a second to set it up.
All right, so the competitors will be flip-flopping. Scratch will now be on lanes 31 and 32. Handicap will move to 29 and 30.
All right, guys, two balls on each lane.
All right, so upcoming events next week, like I mentioned earlier, we are at Earl Bowl in the Quakertown area. Haven't been there for a few years, if ever, for a under 21 doubles. Then the week after, we are doing our one and only visit to the Wilkes-Barre area this year up at Chaco's. That is a adult junior last weekend in September. And then the PJBT goes on the road to the Danny Wiseman tournament first weekend in October. Like I mentioned earlier, we still have some spots available. It is about 65 to 70% full right now. There are 3 squads on Saturday. The winners of the semifinals in the scratch division will be taking on the tournament leader Troy Owens. In the handicap, your leader Eric Barnes. We have the battle of the ladies here on the handicap side. Jadalyn, Callie, and Sydney. And the battle of the gentlemen on the scratch side. Antonio, Zach, and Ryan. Once again, our message board live and operational for those of you that want to chime in. Have a question, any comments, feel free. You want to let me know how soothing my voice is or how annoying my voice is, feel free. All right, we're just about ready for our semifinal. Gonna let Josh have his introduction, and then we are going to tell you who our special guest is for the next match. Somebody, probably a few of you may have heard, probably most of you don't know who I'm about to announce. He is a up-and-comer on the senior tour.
Shootout match number 2 over here on the scratch side. All 31 and 32. We have number 2 seed Antonio Reyes, number 3 seed Zachary Preston, and number 4 seed Ryan Savage. Over here on the handicap side, we have number 6 seed Kelly Brazil, number 3 seed Jadalyn Swisher, and number 5 seed Sydney Bowe. The winner will move on to the title matches. Let's give our bowlers a nice round of applause.
All right, off we go in the semifinals. Callie is getting 50 pins of handicap. Jadalyn 26 and Sydney 38. Okay, sitting to my right, so you'll have to imagine that. Let's see here. What can we say about this gentleman? He's been around for a while.
Just a little bit.
He's bowled on the PBA. He had an average to slightly above average career. He's won a few events now that he's on the senior circuit. From the great state of New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you PB3 Parker Bone III. Hello, sir.
Well, thanks for having me. How are you today?
I'd say it's just another day in my paradise, a Sunday in a bowling center. What could be better?
No, that's what it's turned out to be for us. Typically, if I'm on this side, though, I'd be talking about one of my boys.
Yes.
Justin or Brandon. Actually, I will say our boys, Leslie and me. But in a case like this, we're both sitting in the back here watching our daughter bowl this time in the stepladder final, so it's pretty awesome.
Wait till 31's ready. Little lane maintenance on 31.
She's ready.
She is ready. She bowled pretty good that first match. She had to mark in the 10th to move on.
She actually did. She hit the one in the front more frequently than not, and fortunately she got a couple of strikes to show for it, and then filled some frames, made some spares, and lo and behold, before you know it, when it's all said and done, she was able to stand tall and move on to the next match.
Hey, survive in advance. These gold pins look familiar to you?
They actually do, but they are starting to show my age. Probably my best day on the gold pins would be the day that I was fortunate to bowl 300 at the USBC Masters in the semifinal game, and well, needless to say, that was in 1998.
Wow.
So
I probably watched that.
yeah.
Got to think what I was doing in 1998.
Well, just to let you know, I'll give you a little insight. None of the bowlers that are bowling in a step ladder today, they did not watch it live.
Yeah, close. Close. Who'd you beat, by the way?
In that round?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Chris Sand
Okay.
was one of the players, and the other player was Mike Mullen from New York.
All right. All right, looks like we're ready to go. Ryan will be starting us off on lane 32. Antonio on 31, Sydney on 30, and Callie on 29.
Now, the interesting thing here for the girls coming over, and I know Sydney was the only one that bowled in the other match in the handicap division, but the scratch bowlers bowled on this pair the match before, and they certainly will tear the lane up and break it down a much faster than the handicap bowlers will.
That is true.
Both girls getting up the first shot, getting 7.
Good spare there for Sydney. Ryan misses his spare.
If you need to move a little bit, you have to move. Just move another one. One more. It's okay. Sure, you can move 2.
Do you charge for that advice?
Yeah, I'll be amazed if she actually sits and listens to it. As Jadelin hits that one in the front, scatters him around, gets a strike, puts it on the board. That's a good thing. You know, everybody says, well, it didn't hit the pocket. It went Brooklyn or run away, or however you want to add them up. In my book, they all fell over.
Looks good up there. You would never know.
You wouldn't know a thing.
Good shot there by Callie. Gets a little unlucky, leaving the 5-7. So when's the next time you're going to be bowling in a tournament?
For me, it'll be the Senior Invitational Tournament down, believe it or not, in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Uh-oh.
I have not heard how things are down there at the facility yet, but we're going to all cross our fingers and hope that things are, let's say, status quo as of a few days ago.
When is that supposed to be?
2 weeks. In 2 weeks. High again. High. Yep. Baby split. Look at that shot. That was fantastic. Takes her plastic ball out and moves approximately 20 right on the approach and throws it right up 5-6 and made that spare perfectly. Sydney drifts a little too high for her spare. Jadelin goes Brooklyn, leaving a 5-pin only. Meanwhile, on the scratch side over here, Antonio getting 6 in the first shot, making the spare fill in the frame. Zachary shooting the 4-7 right now. Convincingly makes that spare, and unfortunately the other scratch bowler, Ryan, having an open frame. So, well, see things continue underway here.
Antonio comes in a little high, leaves the 4-6-10. Callie up on 29, working off of that split conversion, and Ryan up on 31. Frame 2, Callie mixes them up. That's a strike. Ryan comes in a little light, leaves the 2-pin.
Trying to explain that to my daughter. She says her ball keeps hooking. Well, it's not going to hook from way out there.
No. How old is she now?
She's 12. Great shot by Jadelin.
She's clean through 3.
It looks good. Yep, perfectly done. Zachary over here on the scratch side, getting up in the second frame. Great shot, ringing 10. You know, it's interesting for the viewers to watch what the kids are bowling on. They're bowling on a sport pattern, but these lanes were oiled this morning, just like the rest of the facility where the kids bowled on. That being said, by the lane sitting here all day, the pattern actually will play much flatter. So there is a shape to the pattern. but the pattern will certainly play much flatter because it is sat here all day.
Antonio came up to me after practice, and he said it's a lot tighter than what we were bowling on earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, and that has to do with the lanes just sitting there all day.
Yep.
You know, for the handicap bowlers, they won't really pick up on that a lot. You know, maybe subtly a little bit, but the scratch bowlers, the better average bowlers, will certainly see that.
So explain to our viewers why the lanes, the oil pattern sitting all day without any usage would make the pattern flatter.
Just because the heat, the elements in the center, the machine that put the oil pattern out there, after it sits there for a couple of hours, just like oil in a frying pan, eventually it's going to figure out how to get through the vast majority of the frying pan, especially as it heats up a little bit. Now, the heat within the bowling center has a lot to do with the amount of bowlers that are here. Let's face it, albeit the same, the heat or coolness outside. As the day goes on, it progresses, it gets much warmer. A lot of times humidity could come up, the levels could come up or go down. But that all being said, when those things happen, that oil, instead of the shape that you see on a piece of paper, will eventually fill in all the voids or go out towards the left and right side of the lane. When the kids came out here and first started to practice, it was amazing how their ball would go down, and as soon as it got out of the oil line at the end of the pattern, it definitely went left or right depending on how they threw the ball.
Another good shot there by Callie.
Yeah, great shot on that one.
So there you go. Some expertise from PB3 on what happens when lanes sit for a little while. Keep that in your memory banks for those of you who bowl tournaments.
A little bit too far out for her that time. For both of the girls, a little too wide. Meanwhile, in the scratch side, Ryan puts up a double. That's the first double by any of the bowlers out there. Too far for Sydney. And after 5 frames, looking at the scoreboard in the handicap side, Sydney has 107 with her handicap. Jadlyn has 102 with her handicap. And Kaylee has a pretty sizable lead right now, having 119 in the 4th, but she has a strike in the 5th, so pretty big shot here right now. Going high, leaving only the 6 pin. And in the scratch side over here, Zachary getting up, working on a strike, can put another strike up on the board and actually make this a 1-pin game between him and Ryan. Unfortunately, Antonio, I think is trying to regroup himself and get things back on track here.
Yes. Well, and Antonio likes to cross a lot of boards, so
Yes.
if it's tighter, that's not going to play to his advantage, for him at least. And flatter.
Exactly.
But I've watched Antonio bowl for a number of years now. He's capable of throwing 6, 7, 8 in a row in the blink of an eye. Let's see if Zach could convert his 3-6. He does. Jadlyn up in her 6th frame. She comes in light, leaves the 2-4-5. Antonio goes high. He turns around, says it was a bad shot, leaves the 3-6-10. Jalen crosses over, misses her 2-4-5. So, Callie is extending her lead. She roughly has a 33-pin lead on Sydney and a 38-pin lead on Jalen. Antonio opens again. He's quickly digging himself a grave. At least he's smiling.
Kaylee hits the pocket there, leaving the 4-5 Sydney going runaway Brooklyn for a strike. My daughter is asking me if she can go Brooklyn. Of course she can.
Yeah, there's no rule that says...
No, and there's no bonus pins for being in the pocket neither.
Yes.
Well, I don't think that's the way he planned on leaving a solid 8, but...
No.
Okay, not quite the solid 8, but he'll take the fact that there's only one standing.
All right, now wait a minute. Now we're going to get into an argument right now. We're definitely going to get in the argument because when Sydney crossed over, you called it Brooklyn. Now, I'm of the Nelson Burton Jr., because that's who I grew up watching on ABC all day. He said when a righty went to the left side, it's Jersey, and when a lefty went to the right side, it's Brooklyn, because the Brooklyn was to the east of Jersey. And so
well, I'll tell you what, in my travels, everywhere I've been around the world, if you go to the other side of the head pin, regardless of what hand you throw it, if you do not live in the state of New York, it's Brooklyn. If you live in New York, immediate metropolitan area, or Long Island, everybody there would call it Jersey.
I'm going to have to call Nelson.
Okay. We'll get that number. We'll be on top of that one.
Yes. That's at least the third time he's done that in a match and a half. Carried to 2. Antonio with a strike. Yeah, Hoss.
Zachary up here in the 6th frame throws a great shot for a strike. Well, in the scratch division over here, Ryan takes a pretty commanding lead so far. When you look at how things are unfolding, he's pacing at 2-teen pace, whereas Zachary is 187 pace, and Antonio, well, Antonio doesn't want to really know his pace right now.
Callie crosses over. She leaves the 6-pin. Once again, as always, our message board live and operational. If anybody has any questions or comments, now's the time to ask the experts sitting to my right.
Whatever you're going to do at home, if you're bowling this pattern, do not follow Antonio's advice at the present moment. He looks like he's got hieroglyphics when I look up at his score right now. I don't think he's very happy with it neither.
I don't think so.
No. Great spare for him, though. Got to give him all the credit in the world there. Looked like it might have hurt a little bit on his hand, but...
I've never seen you throw a ball like that Sydney makes her spare. Foundation frame
Sydney
9.
fills the frame. Jalen mixes them up there. Pretty good for a strike in the 9th. Foundation frame.
Callie is in well.
Callie's pretty much got total control here. There's
Yes.
conceivably, all she got to do is keep her ball on the lane and stay behind the foul line. Meanwhile, Zachary, although he went high and left the 3-6, the way that pins would roll around, fortunately the 6 fell right into the 3 and it gave him a strike. Well, Callie is certainly going to advance here in the handicap side of things. Meanwhile, a really good tournament for Sydney and Jadlin.
Yes.
She made the 5-7 earlier and almost made the baby split right there.
It's a 2-11 for Callie with her handicap.
That's a pretty good game. She bowled 161 scratch. So that's a pretty fantastic game for Callie. Jadlin makes a great shot at the ball. Unfortunately leaving a 10 pin, but still a pretty good pass. And Sydney throws her final shot.
And goes Jersey.
Brooklyn. But whatever the case may be, she did fortunately knock them all over. As we watch Ryan just splitting the 8-9 over there for another great shot. So final score in the handicap division, Callie bowls 211, Sydney bowls 183, and Jadlin bowls 167. Antonio's trying to figure out how to muster it up, get over 100.
Oh. With any luck, he'll make it.
My bet's still on him to get there. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe right now he's not thinking so, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Zachary, to have any chance here, is in a must-strike situation. He's got to post another strike.
And he does.
Comes through.
He throws a nice ball.
Yes, he does. He actually bowled very, very good. I was watching him bowl a little bit in qualifying, and then certainly because my son was bowling match play, I watched him bowl match play there. And unfortunately, the last game, he really struggled, which dropped him down. He was actually the tournament leader, and things didn't turn out to be exactly the way that he wanted to, but he finds himself bowling in this 3-man shootout in positions 2, 3, 4. And maybe I spoke a little too soon about Antonio.
Yes. Another strike for Ryan.
Ryan's just in cruise mode right now. Well, that secures 100. He's got it. little smile. Routine gutter spare. Well, Zachary still does have a small chance here, but once again, the must strike is absolutely necessary. If he can strike here, he can still get up in the 10th and strike out for 237, which would force Ryan to fill a mark of some sort in the 10th frame. But with no strike here, Ryan will advance automatically into the final match in the scratch division. It's a little wide.
Yes.
That's a little bit too wide down the lane. Little too far forward with his shoulders, pushing the ball further right than he wanted to. And on the sport pattern it's out here right now, way outside ballpark, outside of 5 on either side, is really not going to convincingly hook back to the head pin unless your angles are severely shut down.
All right, so Antonio is finishing off his 10th.
Not exactly his best game of the day, but
No, probably not. Nice of him to clear out the deadwood.
that's what he was going for. As long as that's what he was going for, then it was mission accomplished. Ryan a little light on that one, leaving a 2-10 split. You know, you don't know if the lane changed, if Ryan got a little bit lazy with that one, but there you look at that shot now. Zachary, if he could have mustered up a strike there in the 9th frame, is a little bit more meaningful effort for that first shot in the 10th by Ryan.
Yes, it would have. All right, so 233 for Ryan. He will be moving on to the finals.
Well, I will say, unfortunately for me, my day is done, but it turned out to be another well-run tournament here for the PJBT series, and Matt and Josh and Stacy, and just outstanding. Over 70 bowlers participated, both handicap and scratch division. Obviously, you got your title match coming up in both divisions respectively, but I'm going to say that by watching my daughter bowl, it was a pleasure, the fact that she made the stepladder finals and went accordingly. But I'm going to say congratulations to Kaylee, who's going to bowl in the title match here and in the upcoming handicap division, and obviously Ryan advancing to the finals in the scratch division. So there's 4 great bowlers, great competitors that are going to be out here, and well, obviously one will stand tall in each division respectively.
Yes. All right, we'll be saying goodbye to Parker. He's going to hit the road to New Jersey, I would assume.
I will be headed home in a matter of a couple of minutes.
Well, we'll be looking for you live on, let's see, I can't call it Extra Frame anymore.
Flow Bowling.
Flow Bowling.
Yes.
In a couple weeks, hopefully that bowling center is still dry. By then.
We're going to hope that it's dry, and not because they're waiting for the water to subside neither.
Yes. Yes.
So that whole area, our hearts go out to everybody down there in North and South Carolina and the surrounding communities. If they have an opportunity to watch what's going on right now or listen in at any time down the road, hopefully things are going smooth for them, smoother than, let's say, what the TV and all the other accessibilities are letting us all know about. We'll hope that they're dry and safe and things are more intact than what they were led to believe.
Yes. All right, that's going to do it for our scratch match, and we'll say once again thank you to PBA Hall of Famer Parker Bone III for being a friend of the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour for basically since it started back in 1999. Wow, 20 years already.
I'm starting to sound even older.
Yeah.
I think I was out here for one of Matt's first events. My goodness.
Over to Josh. Antonio Reyes, your 4th place finisher today.
3rd place in the scratch division, also an $80 scholarship, and the award goes to Zachary Preston.
Zachary Preston, 3rd place. Good game there for Zach, shooting over 200, 1 open.
4th place in the handicap division, $80 scholarship, and the award goes to Jadalyn Swisher.
Jadalyn Swisher, 4th place handicap division.
Finishing in 3rd place in the handicap division, also an $80 scholarship, and the award goes to Sydney Bone.
Sydney Bone, 3rd place today.
All right. Troy Ryan, 2 on each lane, 29 and 30. And 2 on each lane, and 2 on each lane. Back on the right side.
All right, so let's catch up a little bit on what's on the message board. Addie Cakes, yes, this is a specialized pattern for the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour made by Kegel. All of our majors, the oil patterns are made by Kegel. They are unnamed patterns made especially for the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. And if you want to sign up for the Danny Wiseman tournament, you can sign up right on the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour website, www.pjbtbowlingseries.com. You will see a link to sign up. In fact, I do believe that is the only place you can sign up for that tournament. I don't even think you can sign up through Danny's website anymore. I think it's all through the PJBT website. Hello, Big Ben. Not really sure what you mean, Addie, about who's co-hosting. Basically, it's Danny's tournament, and the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour run it for him. Danny is also, just as Parker is, a friend of the PJBT. All right, it looks like Callie will be getting 4 pins. Handicap. The handicap moves back over to 31 and 32, while Scratch is on 29 and 30. Out to Josh.
Okay, this is our final match. Over on the scratch side, we have the number 1 seed Troy Owens taking on the number 4 seed Ryan Miscavige. Ryan will be starting the match on the left lane. Over on the handicap side, we have the number 1 seed Eric Barnes against the number 2 seed Kelly Brazil. Callie will be receiving 4 pins as the difference of the handicap. The winner of these 2 matches will be our champion. Let's give our bowlers a match.
All right, off we go into the finals. Oh, that's okay, Addie. I actually misread what you were saying. The higher seeds have chosen the lower seeds to start the match, so Ryan is up first on 29, and Callie will be up first on 31. Ryan comes in a little light, leaves the 2-pin. Did you want to start on 31? Matt, Josh. Gotta flip that. Actually, Eric will be starting the match on 31, so we got to flip the arrows. Okay, Ryan makes his spare in frame 1. Eric crossing over, gets 6 on his first shot. Troy mixes them up in the first frame. Gets a strike. Eric gets 3. Troy's second shot breaks a little high, leaves the 3, 6, 9, 10. Let's see what Callie could do. Frame 1, she's playing deep inside. Gets a strike in her first frame. Troy gets 3. Callie gets a strike. Yes. Ryan makes his spare. He's clean through 2. Eric comes in high, leaves the 4, 6 in his third frame.
Hello, PA Fats.
Hello, Matthew. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. Want to congratulate John Boyer, our Buddies Pro Shop Adult Bowlers Tour winner today. So we'll be posting that online. $500 prize for him.
Who did he beat?
And now we're going to crown a champion and major number 2.
Who did John beat in the finals?
He bowled Jim Taylor. Jim led the whole day, and John just overtook him in the last game, shooting 278. And then they faced off in the title match. Ironically, the standings after qualifying is the way they finished. 1 through 6 ended up 1 through 6. Nobody changed their order. So higher seed always won the match.
What did he shoot in the finals?
I believe the match was I want to say it was around 215 to 191. But I'll have the exact scores posted online. All right, let's see who we're going to crown for a champion today for the PJBT. We have Ryan Owens, tournament leader. That shot looked a little bit wide. I'm sorry, I said Ryan Owens. I meant Troy Owens. Troy Owens against Ryan Miscavige. And there's a spare on the handicap side for Callie Bazil. She has the early lead in the match. I'm assuming I missed this part, but did you talk about the pattern a little bit?
Yes, I did.
Pattern number 3 today of our 10 patterns from Kegel. Seemed like it paid decently tough. 39 feet with a lot of volume. Callie crossed over, missing the headpin to the left, getting 7. And Troy Owens looking to get back on track. Comes up a little bit high, leaves the 10. Started with strike, but 2 opens. He'll look to put a mark up. And Callie for her spare.
Made it.
She's able to convert. So she's getting the handicap, and she has the lead in the match.
Boss man, the best dress today was judged by me. It was Preston Williams. He had his EFX shirt on. And he looked quite spiffy. So he got
There's
the vote
a word
today.
I haven't heard you use in a while, spiffy.
Spiffy. Good shot
There's
there
a good
by
shot. First strike of the match for Eric Burns.
By the way, somebody messaged me. I'm supposed to tell you you're not supposed to use the term crown a champion.
Why?
Somebody else uses that term.
Oh, yes. Okay. You don't need to say anymore. Okay, Barnes comes up a little bit, misses the head pin to the right, leaving the 1-2. Ryan Mickiewicz looks to convert the baby split. And the ball slides by to the right. So, battle of the fittest on the scratch side title, as Mickiewicz has 54 in the fourth. Troy with just 37 in the third plus a spare. So, pretty even match, even though they're both struggling. There's a good spare for Eric Barnes.
Addie Cakes, you'll have to tell me what you mean by it's not really working. Never heard.
I can answer that.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on right now, but I'll have to check it out when I get home. Because I believe the website, for some odd reason, is down again. I already messaged our webmasters, so just give it a check. I would say to check back by tomorrow. It should be back up again. Good shot there. Playing the deep inside part of the lane, it's going to be tough to get that angle, but she almost tripped out the 5 there. Okay, now let's see if Troy Owens. Ball looked like it was on line, and then it just stopped. And he came up light, leaving the 2-5-8. And it looks like Callie will be buying everybody drinks.
That's good. I'm thirsty.
As she misses the 5 pin. So 93, 97 with her handicap in the 5th. And she has a 22-pin lead. And Owens chops the 2 and the 5 off the 8. And he posts 63 in the 5th. Not the exact way he wanted to start off his title match. But again, survival of the fittest as he's still in the match. Oh, and that shot comes up a little bit high. Leaves the 3, 4, 6, 7. For our bowling fans out there, the way to convert that spare would be to throw the ball just to the right of the 3 pin, and the 3 pin should slide over into the 4 and the 7.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Now, if I'm coaching Troy at this moment, I'm telling him he's got to look to play a different part of the lane or switch to a ball that's going to give him more area or something. He has to be too exact right now.
Yeah, it looked like he missed right on the right lane and then missed in on the left lane, and there's just no give either way. Back on the handicap side, Callie Bazil had posted a 7 miss, so she has 100 in the 6th. And Eric Barnes is up. He leaves a 7 pin. Scavenge comes up light, leaving the 2 pin. Right now, marks are big in this scratch match. If you can put up marks and string together some marks, you're going to have the lead. Barnes not able to convert his spare, so he posts 83 in the 6th. Meanwhile, Ryan Mickiewicz makes his spare, and that's 2 marks in a row for Ryan. Not usually a big deal, but that's the first back-to-back actually, I should say he has 4 marks out of 6 in the match. Troy has not been able to put back-to-back marks together. So Because of that, Ryan has the lead. Ball comes in a little bit high. That would look like it was inside a target, leaving the 3-6. On the handicap side, Eric Barnes able to make his spare, and same thing for Ryan Mickiewicz. How high did we have the viewership today? When I walked by, I saw 61.
661 was the highest I saw.
Very good. Want to thank our good buddy Parker Bone for joining you in the booth today.
Must have been some word of mouth going around when he was on, because that's when it zoomed up.
He's a pretty popular guy. What can I tell you? Good shot there for Callie Bazil. Just comes in a little light, leaving the 2-5. And there's a good shot for Troy Owens. Look at that guy's mustache. Sorry, you missed it. That man that was in the booth with us, Parker Bone III, an old picture of him just came up getting a strike. Callie missed her spare. And Troy comes in a little bit high and leaves the 3-6-9-10, a tricky combination spare.
Yes, he missed
See,
this
again,
earlier
that
in the
ball.
match.
See, that ball to me didn't look much different from the shot on the right lane. I mean, it might have been inside a target just a little, but that ball grabbed real quick on the left lane. So unless both lanes are different.
And he did the exact same thing.
And he chops the spare for the second time. So 111 in the 8th for Owens. That means he can max out only at 171. Really opens the door for Ryan Mickiewicz. Let's see if he can walk through it. Callie misses her spare, so she is at 118 in the 8th, 122 with her handicap. Once again, you're watching the title match of Major Number 2 for the PJBT. We're here at Leisure Lanes in Lancaster. And Mickiewicz crosses over to the
Jersey
side and gets a strike.
Not Brooklyn, as other people say. It's Jersey.
On the handicap side, Eric Barnes misses the headpin to the left, leaves the common 1-3-6-9-6 count. See if he can convert his spare. And he does not. Misses it to the right. So he posts 105 in the 8th, and that gives Callie Bazil a 17-pin lead with 2 frames to go in the title match. Slight delay on the scratch side as the ball return has kept his ball down there.
Yes.
Mickiewicz will be up in a moment on the left lane. Meanwhile, Eric Barnes crosses over, trips out the 5, leaving himself a makeable 10-pin.
It's a big spare here for Eric.
Oh, and Eric pushed it to the right, missing his spare. So 114 in the 9th for Eric. He can only max out at 144. That means basically Callie's got to put a couple marks up. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the first double of the match. Mickiewicz back-to-back strikes. And that should put him very close to locking the match up.
Yes. If Troy is basically going to need the next 3 and 9 to force Ryan to mark.
Good shot there by Owens. Looks like you're right. He needs to make a perfect shot, and that seems to be the key. And he certainly has the right lane figured out, because when he projects the ball properly in the right lane, he makes a great shot. Good spare there by Callie Bazil. Now she's got to keep the ball basically on the lane, and she'll be our champion. There's a good shot. Finally posts up his first double.
Looked like he got that one in on the oil just a little bit.
Quick comment online, Addy Cakes, just so you know, we do not have any rule against bowling balls in the PJBT. So, being our events are non-sanctioned, the PJBT sets our own rules as far as the equipment. So we do not have a rule about any banned bowling balls.
Well, he got the 3. Now he just needs the 9.
And a good shot there by Troy Owens.
Big shot here.
And Callie misses her spare. But the good news is she is at 150. She has Eric locked out, and she is our champion. So congratulations to Callie Bazil, our major number 2 champion in the handicap division.
He gets 8.
And Troy gets 8, finishing him at 169.
So Ryan's still going to need a mark. If he goes 9 miss, we have a tie.
You are correct. He does need a mark to win the match.
That's in. No, it's not.
That is 10 down. Ryan
Wow.
Mickiewicz, your major number 2 champion in the scratch division. I believe going all the way from the first shootout round.
Yes, he was the 4 seed. Yep. I'm going to have to ask him in the interview if he moved in, because that ball was laid down to the left of where he was playing. And it held in on the oil. Josh just came over to me, said he made an adjustment in the 10th frame. He went 2 and 1 left. That takes a lot of trust in your game to make an adjustment in the 10th when you need to mark to win.
Absolutely. Our match on the handicap side is officially over. Callie Bazil takes home the title with a 150-131 win over Eric Barnes. So we'll be giving out awards there, and Ryan Mickiewicz finishes it up, wins the match with a 191-169 for Troy Owens. All right, I'm going to go help Josh give out the final awards for today's second major.
Okay. Finishing in second place today in the scratch division, a $150 scholarship, and the award goes to Troy Owens. Thank you.
Troy Owens, your second place finisher today.
Finishing second in the handicap division, a $150 scholarship also, and the award goes to Eric Barnes.
Eric Barnes, your second place finisher in the handicap division.
Our winner, major number 2 here at Leisure, a $300 scholarship, and the large cup trophy goes to Ryan Mickiewicz.
Ryan Mickiewicz, your scratch division champion, getting the $300 first place prize for the major.
And our winner in the handicap division, also a $300 scholarship, and the trophy goes to Callie Bazil.
Callie Bazil, $300 for her first place finish. All right, going to set up the cameras for some post-match interviews while some pictures are being taken. I will be right back. All right. We are here with our Scratch Division champion. You can hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Ryan Miscavige. Did I pronounce your last name right?
You did.
I always knew if it was Miscavige, Miscavige,
Yeah, it's Miscavige.
potato. Good job today.
Hey, thank you.
Running the ladder. You had a bowl in both of the elimination matches. I was told in the championship match here by Josh that you made an adjustment in the 10th. I was going to say, actually, if you go back and listen to the replay of this, you will hear me say that it looked like you got that shot in, and then I asked Matt, I wonder if he made an adjustment left, and Josh said, yes, that you moved 2 and 1 left. Is that correct?
That is correct. I was going to do a 3 and 2, but I thought that might have been too steep, so I decided to go with a 2 and 1 instead.
Did you know you needed a mark in the 10th?
I did.
A 9 miss would have given you a tie.
Right.
So how did the lanes change from your first eliminator over here to when you had to come back over here for the championship?
My first match, I don't think I threw a lot of really good shots to tell how they were. I mean, it was a fresh, so it didn't hook as much. But as far as 31-32, hooked a little bit more, and that's how in the third game of qualifying, I pulled out the matchup and I started doing that. So.
Okay. So how old are you now?
I am 19.
19. In college?
I am.
Going?
Penn State University.
Which one?
Du Bois.
Okay. Majoring in?
I'm in risk management right now, but I might be changing it.
To what?
Marketing.
Nothing wrong with that. You're staying in the business field. I have 2 business degrees myself, and look, I live stream bowling tournaments.
Hey, I love it.
Do they have a bowling team out there?
They do not. I've been trying to get in with University Park, but I have to be taking a credit at University Park to do that. So,
Yes.
I am transferring there my junior year. So,
Are you?
yeah.
Is this your first year or second?
This is my first year.
So you and my kid will be up there
Oh yeah.
because he goes to Penn State Berks. He will be up there his junior year too. He's actually going up there the second part of his sophomore year. He has to take a class up there that Penn State Berks doesn't offer. So he's going up to University Park the second part of next year. So, how many tournament victories is this? I'm trying to remember if you've ever sat in my chair before.
I have never. This is my first.
This is your very first. And you've been bowling PJBTs for how long?
When was Junior Gold in Chicago?
That would be 4 years ago now. It'll be 4 years this upcoming year.
That 222 Dutch after Chicago was my first PJBT. So about since 2015.
Yeah, it went Chicago, then
Indianapolis, then Cleveland, then Dallas.
Then Dallas. Yeah.
Dallas, and then Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been a while. So how did you attack pattern number 3 today?
Well, the first 2 games, I shot a 179 and a 151, and I had absolutely nothing. So I drilled up a matchup pearl last night, and my mom's like, oh, why don't you try it? I'm like, I don't really like the matchups. I don't like those low-end balls. But I was like, okay, why not? I'll take it. So I pulled it out third game, and I just went from there. I tried to keep it pretty straight through the fronts inside, and that was pretty successful for me.
Good. Who's this person here?
That would be my sister.
Ah, well, you know you had one fan watching. You want to give a shout-out to anybody here? Now's your chance.
Shout out to my girlfriend Grace. She's watching in Pittsburgh right now. Hi, Grace. Shout out to Malia too. My mom, my dad, anybody else that bowls with me Tuesday, Thursday nights.
Someone says me. Do you know who Crafty Monkey is?
Oh, is that Andre? I think that is Andre.
Okay. We see Crafty Monkey from time to time on here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, picking up his very first PJBT title ever. Coming a major. That's a great time to win your first. $300 into his scholarship fund. That'll buy him a book or two.
Oh, I hope so. Not from the bookstore.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've learned that myself.
Oh, God.
Ryan Miscavige, congratulations, my friend.
Hey,
We'll
thank
look
you.
to see you at a couple more of these coming up this year.
All right, thank you.
All right, now we will have our handicap champion come in as soon as she looks a little anxious. All right, we are here with our handicap champion, Callie. Let me make sure I say your last name right. Bizdill?
Mm-hmm.
Bizdill? All right. So, is this your first championship?
Well,
I kind of remember seeing you in my chair before.
Yeah, it's my first singles championship.
Okay. Yeah, you won a team event or a doubles event.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's a great time to pick up your first one at a major. Tell me how you attacked pattern number 3 today.
No.
She threw the ball.
Yeah, basically.
You made the step ladder last week at J. You like playing what we call that deep inside line, don't you? Where you stand way left and throw it not all the way to the right, but pretty much like towards the 3-pin and just let the ball work itself in. We call that deep inside.
Mm.
She's a woman of many words, ladies and gentlemen. What bowling equipment were you throwing today?
I mainly threw the Grudge
Okay.
bowling ball and my spare ball. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. So what grade are you in now?
8th.
8th grade at what school?
Freeland Elementary. Middle
Freeland.
School.
Does Freeland have a bowling team when you get to high school?
Yeah.
Really? Not many schools out that way do. Are you going to try out for the bowling team when you get to
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So it's possible when you get to 9th grade or 10th, 11th, and 12th that we will see you potentially bowling here come regionals time to try to make it to states.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. The regional, unless if they move it out of here, the girls bowl their regional qualifying at 222 Dutch, and then the top 12 come here for the finals, if you make the finals. As long as you make it to the top 12, you're guaranteed to go out to states.
I hope they keep it here.
Now, states goes 1 year east, 1 year west, then back to east and back to west. Last year it was out west, so this year it's going to be east. So your 9th grade year, you may go out towards Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
You got to make it, though. So who's this person that brings you just about every week and buys some tickets from me and tries to win? Who's that guy?
It's my Uncle BJ.
Your uncle. He's saying something. He's got to realize I got these things on, so I really can't hear him. I will make sure she does that. So earlier today when I had to judge the best dressed, I was looking to see who had their EFX apparel shirt on, which I believe you have an EFX apparel shirt. But I was told you had a little trouble finding it today.
Yeah.
Where was it again?
On the floor.
On the floor in your bedroom. And me and your uncle here had a conversation about what happened when we were kids with clothes on the floor and stuff. All right. Who do you want to say hi to? And I'm supposed to remind you to say hi to your family in Texas that's watching right now.
Hi.
Do you know their names of the people in Texas? We'll have to ask your uncle. What are the names of the people in Texas?
Oh.
Your Grammys in Texas? You forgot Grammys? Who else do you want to give a shout out to?
My mom, my dad.
Okay.
That's really it.
All right. What are you averaging these days in your Saturday? I'm assuming you bowl Saturday mornings?
Mhm.
Where do you bowl out of? What bowling
St.
center?
Michael's in Freeland.
Okay. What are you averaging?
144, I think.
Won't be long till we see you down at that end. In the scratch division.
I hope I stay here for a while.
No, you don't want to stay. You want to get down there as quickly as possible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, winning her first singles title, $300 into her scholarship fund. Your champion on the handicap side, Callie Bazil. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So that's going to wrap it up for another week. It doesn't look like anybody's coming in with me, which is perfectly fine. We could wrap this up really quick. All right. I forgot to mention earlier, we actually have a tournament next Saturday. It is our first of this season of our girls-only tournaments. It is at ABC West on Saturday at 2:30. Our good friend Travis will be running them this year. And on Sunday, we are out at Earl in Quakertown. Now, there is 2 Earl lanes, Earl Bowl, Earl whatever. If you're going next week, you want to make sure you go to the one in Quakertown, which is a little south of Allentown. So make sure you're at the one in Quakertown. Reminder, if you want the discount, I tell you what, since the website's down, should we extend the discount by 1 day?
Yes.
All right, since the website is down, we're going to extend the discount till midnight on Monday. So if you want to get a discount for the doubles, make sure you put in a deposit down by midnight on Monday, and you will get the discount. And the week after, we will be up in Wilkes-Barre for our first adult junior. You have until next Sunday to put down a $20 deposit to get the discount for that. All right, so let's wrap it up for all of us here on the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great week, and we will see you next weekend. See ya.